to me! I cannot believe you! I gave you everything!
I hear the gravel still, that soft grind under my shoes, and it tells me the world tipped the moment my feet betrayed me. The ground fell away into a sudden, hollow space, the air rushing past as my daughter-in-law's hands slammed into my shoulders and my son's expression went cold and unreadable. Then there was only wind and the hard, crushing press of stone. I couldn't cry out, the crash stole that sound from me. My ribs broke, sharp and white, and my mouth filled with the iron taste of blood. Beside me my husband lay twisted, a smear of dark at his temple, and for a heartbeat I thought he was gone. Then he breathed, a faint, ragged whisper like someone speaking very close to death, "Don't move. Pretend you're dead." Those words froze me deeper than the fall ever could. So I stayed still, a body waiting to be found, while overhead their voices drifted, my son's calm, measured tone, her laugh, their shoes scuffing away, light, relieved, almost joyful. When their sound vanished, my husband turned his head and his eyes held a heat colder than pain. He gripped my shaking hand and said, "They didn't shove us for money. They shoved us because of what I did, and you deserve to know." I met him when I was 19, young, foolishly sure. He was older, solid, the kind of man people believed without thinking. I thought he'd be my armor against the world's cruelties. He gave me a house, a name, and later, a son. For years I trusted that we were a family built on loyalty. Love, though, can hide decay like rot under good paint. I caught tiny signs, small fissures in the surface. The way his hand tightened on our son's shoulder when the boy stepped out of line. The sharper edge to his voice behind closed doors. I told myself it was discipline, fathers were supposed to be strict. And then she came, my daughter-in-law, bright, tentative, hungry for a place to belong. She trusted us. She trusted him. It was in her eyes one winter night, eyes that wouldn't meet mine, heavy with something nameless, that the truth first showed itself. I knew before she said a word. I knew before she sobbed into my arms on a night he wasn't home, whispering what he had done in the secret corners of this house we shared. My blood turned to an icicle. My husband, her husband's father, my son's father. I should have walked away then. I should have exposed him. My son begged me not to. He said it would destroy us, said we'd lose everything. I believed him. What I didn't know was that they were already planning their own reckoning. To them, justice meant a cliff. Lying broken at the mountain's base, I understood the betrayal differently. They hadn't betrayed me, they had betrayed him. I was collateral. My husband's confession sealed it, raw, unrepentant. He admitted everything in a voice that was hoarse and shameless. He thought survival bought him absolution. He was wrong. That night under the stars, with blood tacky on my lips, I made my choice. If my son and his wife believed they'd finished us, they were mistaken. I wasn't dead. Not yet. My retaliation would not be a blaze or a scream. It would be silence, ice-sharp and surgical. I spent weeks in the hospital, my body wrapped in plaster, while my mind honed itself into something like steel. My son visited once and brought flowers, his wife kept away. His smile was thin and practiced. He believed the cliff had buried the truth. I let him keep that illusion. When I came home, I played the part perfectly, the fragile mother, the broken wife, the woman too ruined to rise. Meanwhile, I collected pieces of the life he thought he'd stolen. Bank statements, title deeds, insurance papers, secrets my husband had hidden for decades. I learned the house wasn't truly his. Through a quiet transfer he'd thought would shelter his assets from scrutiny, it was mine by law. The savings, the accounts, the land, everything tied to my name on paper. So I started to move things. Quietly I sold, transferred, rerouted, patching exits, setting traps that only a careful hand could see. I waited until the day my son would need me, the day he wanted the inheritance. The safety he believed would buy him and his wife a clean life away from what they'd done. That's when I struck. We sat in the lawyer's office across from each other, him expectant, me composed, my husband already gone, finally consumed by his own sins. The lawyer slid the documents across. My son's face went pale as lines of truth unfolded across the pages. Everything, every account, every parcel was under my name. The accounts were emptied. The property had been sold. The wealth had vanished. "Where is it?" he demanded, voice breaking. I looked at him, my child, the one I had born and fed and defended, and said, "From you." He understood then. He realized the cliff hadn't killed me. It woke me. His wife stared at me, eyes wide, not quite anger, not mere fear. Something like respect flickered there. But paper wasn't the end. I gave the police what they needed, testimony, the careful details of what my husband had done to her. I laid out the truth with deliberate strokes, protecting myself while exposing him. My son was pulled into the tempest for what he'd known and hidden. One morning they stood before me in handcuffs, my son and his wife, seen by the law not as avengers but as criminals. Attempted murder does not vanish under the soft cloak of sympathy. I thought I should feel pity. I thought I should feel grief.